Growing up, concert moments like these were something I could not get enough of. At the age of 13, after buying my first MP3 player, I fell in love with music and did anything I could to immerse myself in the music scene. I survived middle school iPod in hand and headphones glued to my ears, and entered high school ready to dive deeper into the culture. I started going to concerts like it was my job, constantly checking up on my favorite artists, praying that their tours would reach my hometown of Seattle. And my friends were no different. We would spend hours looking for new music and coordinating concert trips. During sophomore year, we stumbled upon a notification from our frequented concert app, advertising our favorite band scheduled to play in Washington on Memorial Day weekend. A little more research and we would find that this wasn't just any concert. Sasquatch Music Festival is a 3-day music event at the Gorge Amphitheater in Quincy, Washington, full of food, camping, and live artists. We knew we had to go. We created a game plan. First, we would each go home and convince our parents to let us go, a task that I would find to be easier said than done. Growing up, my parents were pretty strict. They would rarely let me spend the night at my friends' houses. They would always make sure I was home for dinner, and God forbid they didn't know where I was at all times. So this was going to take some real persuasion. I would need to do something that would get their attention, something they could respect, and I needed them to take me seriously. I decided that the best course of action would be to make a full-blown, professionally crafted PowerPoint presentation. I started right away, collecting pictures of the festival, creating a complete itinerary for the weekend, and outlining every reason why I had to go to Sasquatch. Although it would drain my savings, I would pay for the ticket myself, and we would be supervised by my best friend's parents. After a week of preparation, the final product had to have been some of my best convincing to date. There was no way they were going to deny this argument. When it came time to present, I went into my living room ready to defend my case at any cost. After a few long hours and heated argument with my parents, the final verdict was a big, fat no. My flawless reasoning and carefully crafted slides were all in vain, and there was no chance they would change their minds. I was absolutely crushed. My friends were approved to go, and I was the only one staying home for Memorial Day weekend. My thoughts were quickly consumed with the fear of missing out, a common phenomenon in the age of social media, also known as FOMO. Imagine your best friends all at the festival of your dreams without you. I knew I would be seeing plenty of pictures and videos online of my friends having the time of their lives, seeing bands that I could only dream of watching live. And when Memorial Day weekend came along, that's exactly what happened. Although it felt like the end of the world at the time, I can now look back and say that my parents may have done me a favor by denying my request. I was able to save the money that I would have otherwise spent on a pricey ticket, and the bands that I had been most excited to see would become groups that I grew to dislike. If I could give advice to myself in sophomore year, it would be to not be so concerned with what my friends are doing. I was so worried about them seeing these groups without me that I couldn't see the logic in my parents' decision. The feeling of missing out would fade and everything would be back to normal in time. I wasted too much energy being upset with my parents and being upset that I couldn't go. Since then, I've learned to accept many of the things that I can't change, and instead know that these feelings of anger and exclusion are not productive and I shouldn't dwell on them. I realize now that it's okay to stray from what others are doing, if it means that I'm doing what's best for myself.